And someone said about, having enough to get to your school. In the years past, it was called PBIS, and a lot of staff had a negative response to that, and a lot of students. So this year, the first thing that we did is we tried to revamp the name, so we called it the Wildcat Way. And then we used the Aerosmith song, Walk This Way, and we used like paw prints to kind of like remind kids that this is our way of doing things, not so much that it's PBIS. So some of this will follow underneath that. So Jerry asked me to put together some of the things that we do at our school and some of our ideas. Again, we revamped the paw print itself. In years past, it was so like dictated to us, like it literally had written out the only things you could write it for, and teachers kind of felt like they didn't like that. So we tried to broaden a little bit to our 3 expectations of being safe, being responsible, being respectful. So give a broader opening for staff to write those out. And when we mean staff, we have engineers that write them out. You can have lunch ladies write them out. When you see someone in your building doing something good and following that behavior matrix, write it out. And so we have a box in our office, and they just, it's the, what do you call it? The copy. And they give 1 copy to the student, so it's an immediate reward, like, hey, I saw that you did that today, good job. And the other copy goes in the office, and every 2 weeks we do a raffle. And with that raffle, they get a sheet of paper, and it's green, and it's got the paw prints, and it's like, congratulations, do the Wildcat Way. And they have an option. They either can choose a movie pass, which I know all schools here get the Marcus movie passes. And the new incentive that was kind of set up through the district about the basketball tickets. And that was kind of, we thought would be big for our students. So they have an option. So they either, they're not a big basketball fan, they're going to come to the Renaissance office, which we'll talk about Renaissance, and they can pick up their movie pass, or they go to the bookstore in the cafeteria and they pick up their ticket. So we have constant announcements for that, just trying to promote it, putting it on the website. And we just added, some teachers brought up, like, you can't hear the announcement, so we don't know, kids aren't hearing it. So we're going to put up posters with these kids' names, and we're getting a new, I forget what it's called. A silent radio. And we're going to have their names going across it so they can kind of see them. So, and you wanted to say something?
Yeah. We do have the double paper pass just because when we first started doing the paw prints, we wanted them to be put into the box for the kids, but then the kid didn't really get anything. And what we found is if we gave the initial paw print to the kid, a lot of times they weren't handing them in to get their reward because they wanted to take them home to show their mom. And yeah, they're in high school, but that sometimes this is like the only reward they get. So we went with the dual copy so that the kid could have a copy and we also had a copy.
And Dr. Mateo, our principal, started this year too that there are green sheets or yellow sheets in the office so staff can recognize staff. And then at our staff meetings, she pulled them out, she reads every single one, we take a moment, we applaud for those people, and then she picks a staff name out for a raffle. So it's doing the same thing among staff that you kind of are doing for students. So medium frequency rewards, we really have a buy-in from our principal this year, which we have not had in the past. And she is very adamant about doing class meetings. And in fact, this was the first year ever that she did class meetings before the school year started. And she like demanded parents and students come, which we all were like, oh, it was a wonderful thing and it set the tone. And at those class meetings, that should be 95%. For example, she's doing them this week. And she is rewarding kids that have 95% attendance because that's a key behavior target that we're trying to hit is their attendance in school. Because if they're not there, they're not learning. So she's on board with that, and she also does that. What we've done, especially with WKCE, or with all the testing that is being thrown at us, again, attendance was key. If they're not there, they don't take the test, we don't meet our numbers. So we did donut parties, and she kind of talks to the class meetings like, I like donuts, I know you like donuts. So immediate, monthly reward is whatever class was there, went to the math testing, they're getting the donuts. It's something simple. Someone mentioned granola bars. I mean, you can do what you have to do. Anything you want to add to that? And then low frequency are events. I also run, and Barb, we run Renaissance, which isn't so different than PBIS. It's just an academic incentive program. So they kind of go hand in hand. We use FileMaker Pro to get all the data every quarter, and on that data you can see what is their attendance. And we don't use perfect attendance, we call it perfect attendance, because even if you have AP kids, they might miss a day for a conference, they might miss a day for a dentist, so you don't want to rule them out for that. So we have a little leeway with that. But it's a way to keep track. So being that last year we were on block, this year it's a little different, we're trying to figure out our calendar. But some of the events that we have done in the past, kids like food, you know that, we like food. So we've done pizza lunches. We used to have an ethnic fair and it went away last year. So one of the events is we had an ethnic luncheon and it was outside, they got to be outside. We had the Turkish dancers dance, we had, and we had baklava, we had egg rolls, we had pizza, we had eclairs, we had something from everywhere. And they loved it, it was an event.
And the community got involved in that. They donated a lot of the food and stuff that came in, and we really let the kids know that this was for good grades, good attendance, and good behavior.
Comedy sports, if you guys haven't worked with Comedy Sports, I think they're a great vendor to work with. They'll come to your school. So we've done Comedy Sports in the past for events. And what's nice about that too is if you fill out some forms beforehand and you give them kind of some teachers' names that kids like or they're popular or whatever, they will tailor their comedy to your school. And kids like that. And it's the easy thing of saying, you know, for March it's going to be, you know, March Madness, Comedy Sports is going to come in. Kids with no referrals. Whatever your target is, you can set that up and then that can be your reward. It can be a 45-minute thing. They come in, go to the auditorium, sit, laugh, have a good time, and make sure they know why they're there and why they deserve that reward. We just worked on February. Our focus is going to be responsibility, getting to class, having what you need, making sure you're not just outside the door chilling, but you're in your seat, you're ready to go, and the bell rings. So our reward for that is we're going to do something with like a Valentine's, you know, little party, and since everything will go on clearance after the 14th, perfect at the end of the month, to get deals on that and do some kind of Valentine's luncheon. So roller skating is huge, even though I pray that they don't fall and hurt themselves, but it's legit, you get the forms. We have our own popcorn machine, just use what you guys have. And so we've done movies and popcorn, that's when we had 88 minutes, but you know, you can still work something out like that. We did like a Halloween movie, a scary movie, and then I called local haunted houses, and they gave and donated tickets. So we did the scary movie, we did the popcorn, and at the end we raffled off haunted house tickets. So it's just something easy that can pertain to each month.
We are also making sure that we're giving awards to the staff. So, for example, we've had at least twice this year already where we took little cards down to the cafeteria and we asked kids to fill them out for teachers. One of them was, you know, thanks for, and then we let the kids fill out what they were thankful for that teacher. And the other one was just like a holiday greeting type thing. And we got several hundred things back from kids to hand out to the staff. And then, you know, the staff members feel like this is one of the nicer things that's done for them because it comes from the kids.
At the end of the year, I don't have it on here, but the same thing we do, it's a diploma, but you have your seniors fill it out for staff members, and it says kind of like a thank you for helping me graduate, and it looks like a diploma, and the kids sign it, and at their senior picnic, when they're all in a good mood and they're happy, and you know our kids are at the zoo, they'll be willing to fill it out because they're in that mode, and then you give them to teachers at the end of the year, and it's little. It takes no more than 5 minutes for a kid to fill it out, but like I have mine under my desk. I will not throw them away. I refuse to, and you'll see them up in teachers' rooms. So it's a part of that community, and it's a part of teaching each other, you know, these little things that you can do.